everyone, welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. My name is Pearl and I'm here to share our next topic. 4 things to discuss with your boyfriend or girlfriend before you consider getting married. And I say this mainly because these were things I didn't talk about when I was married, let alone dating. And looking back, I wish I did, because that would have given me a better, idea as to what my partner was looking or thinking their future was going to be like. When we were together, I was planning on going into the military and had planned on that during our dating career and was planning on being a Marine Corps officer. And that fell through. That did not end up happening after all, but that'll be maybe on another topic as to why. But, divine providence had it in the cards that I wasn't meant to go in. And so that definitely changed the trajectory of our plans for the future. But I think the first thing to ask is basically what career path you want to have. And I'm going to say this. My husband and I are probably very different in that we were very open to what our career path was going to be and where it was going to take us. We've sort of lived that type of lifestyle. That may not always be the way in which most people want to take their relationship or their career path, but we were that way and it's worked out for us. Definitely there are challenges to that. If you decide to go down that path. But I will say that is an important discussion to have, is what career path are you wanting to go on, and trying to create an environment where both of you are going down the same path, or at least going down the path that you guys are wanting to go towards. So say the other person, is saying, oh, I want to be a pilot. Well, then you should be heading in that direction to be a pilot. And you, as the person dating that person, are you willing to help them get to that place? Are you willing to sacrifice, time and energy until they get there, or even waiting for them to accomplish getting their, certifications or their licensing, their schooling, etc. And once they get it, then what's the next step? That would be an important discussion. Another discussion I would say is obviously about kids. I think that is really key, because if both of you aren't on the same playing field, that is going to cause some issues down the road. Sometimes we get caught up on the emotional aspect of, oh, I just love this person, I will do anything for this person. Like, we say those things, but when down the road your relationship matures, you're going to want to know whether that person wants to have kids, wants to expand your family, wants to, settle down. Those are important questions to have, of what in their mind they're picturing for the future, because that is definitely going to affect your relationship. Early on in my marriage, I didn't want to have kids, and mainly because I was dealing with some trauma related things, and I just thought maybe I wasn't fit to be a mom. Maybe it was just, my, family curses. But after breaking free from a lot of those trauma related issues, going through my own personal healing journey and asking God to really help me overcome a lot of my own insecurities about motherhood, God placed it in my heart to want to have kids. And in that, it changed after 5 years. And then we had to reassess that conversation and say, hey, you know what? He wanted to have kids. I didn't. And he was being really respectful about that, because he understood the background that I came from. And as I healed in that, he was willing to reconnect on that conversation. And now we're kind of in that season in our life where we want to have kids together. And so that's something that you may want to converse about. The third conversation is about your finances. Are you going to, have separate accounts? Are you guys going to merge your accounts? Are you guys going to have, one centralized account where you divvy up that money and they have their own allowance money they could do whatever they want with? Or are you going to have a savings account? Like, how are you financially divvying it up? And who is going to be the responsible one in dealing with the taxes? Are you guys going to do your taxes separate? Are you guys doing it together? Like, those are conversations that are really important when you are dating and are very serious in your dating relationship. And if you are planning on getting married, that's a conversation to have, because the finances are going to be probably around number 1 and 2 in terms of the conflict that may arise as to their theory of spending, their theory of saving, how they use their money, and the type of mentality they have towards it. Those are important conversations to have. The fourth thing that I think is important is the religious aspect. Remember, everything that encompasses what it is in your relationship, there has to be a foundation. Now, as a Christian, obviously, that was very important to us, that we need to be equally yoked. We believed in that very much. And we wanted to make sure that we aligned religiously, spiritually, because we didn't want to have conflict down the road of, one person wants to go to church and the other person doesn't want to go to church. And then you've got a separated household, which then causes more conflict in your relationship, because one person has an idea in their mind as to how they're going to spend their weekends together, and another person has a different mindset of how their weekends are spent. And in the topic of children, obviously, you all should consider talking about, how you raise them. Are you going to raise them in the church? Are you not going to raise them in the church? Are you going to raise them, giving them a lot of liberty as to what they ought to believe? Are you going to allow them to just kind of search it up for themselves and not push them? I mean, these are conversations I think that are important, because it's going to affect how you both are going to impact the child that you have and impact your family as a whole. And I think that these conversations are really important. Now, we did end up having that conversation, religiously speaking, and that really helped us, because that was our big firm foundation for us, and it's gotten us through a lot of things. It was a very, very important part of our relationship, was our religion and our spirituality. And so we try to continue to have that spiritual walk with God, being close to God, and having time to pray together, study together. Those things are very important. Obviously, it may differ for you as to how you were reared, and those are conversations that I think are really important, because how you grew up in terms of the religious aspect of things may affect how you apply it in your relationship, and maybe even as a parent. So with that said, I hope it encourages you guys to talk about those conversations. Even if you are married and you've never had those conversations before, I think it's good to even just talk about it, because I know for us, there were things that we even had to talk about, and we've been married for a really long time, and it was like, man, why are we having this conversation right now? We should have had this conversation a long time ago. That was something that we both had said. And we look back and we're like, well, you know what? We were just kind of busy surviving and busy trying to deal with the things that were kind of immediate. But I think it would have helped us to be a little bit more proactive in having had those conversations. And maybe we would have been able to avoid a lot of conflicting ideas and thoughts had we been more upfront in addressing those things. So I hope that it just kind of helps you guys, and may you continue to grow and learn and continue loving on your spouse, and to continue to have a healthy environment. And with that said, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care, guys. Bye.